Hello everyone, my name is Aulia Sekar. I am a student from Presiden University, class in Digital Business 2. Today I want to analyze the data using a Tableau. First of all, I am using the data about the Hollywoos Most Profitable Story. So this is the data that I already made. Let's open the workbook. Okay, let's go to the data source first. Okay, at this time, the scenario that I will use is that I become investor in a film company with a background in earlier of 2012. It is assumed that in the middle of 2012, my company will make a film. As an investor, I have to see what kind of film are more profitable in terms of business. So, at this time, I make this analysis. I already made from the 1 to until 6. Let's just go to the dashboard right. At first, what I'm going to do is to see which film are the most interesting. On the one hand, we have the result from the audience score, and the other hand, we also have the result from the Rotten Tomatoes. So, we need to know the comparison between the result of the audience and also the Rotten Tomatoes. As you can see here, I create the data top 10 film based on the audience score and top 10 film based on the Rotten Tomatoes. Here, I also want to find out what movie that got the top ratings based on the audience score in the 2011 and the movie that already had top rate films in 2011 based on the Rotten Tomatoes. So, the film that I want to make in the middle of the 2012 is not too far from the film ran and still relevant. No, let's look at the highest one, top rate film in 2011 based on the Rotten Tomatoes. We have Midnight in Paris. So I just click. Let's click, and after that go to filter and let's see. The movie. So let's see. Here we got the information that the movie also part of the top 10 film based on the audience, also the top 3 film in 2011 based on the audience score. But if you look at the top 3 film in the 2011 based on the audience, they got the highest one is a dangerous method. Let's see. And go to a filter and look what happened. We got information that the movie is not the part of the Rotten Tomatoes in the top 10 or top rate film in 2011 based on the Rotten Tomatoes. This is happened because Rotten Tomatoes get the score from the critical opinion, marketing tactics, value of the movie, and other complicated things from the expert. It is different from the audience score that is seen from their preference. So we see the top 3, the highest audience score is Dangerous Method and also the Midnight in Paris. But if you look again, Midnight in Paris have the 2 part in the audience score or in the Rotten Tomatoes. So in the Midnight in Paris is more interesting because they are already having the highest place in the 2 of ratings that they create based on the audience or the Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, let's go to the dashboard 2. So here we will talk about the profitability and the work growth. The profit and the work growth is the crucial thing for the investor because if the one project got the high profit on the growth, they will maybe the next time will chance to invest again in this project. Okay, so I create first one I create top 10 film with the most profit, and the second one is 3 highest profitable film by genre. Why I create this? Because if you want to make a film, you need to know what usually people enjoy it, what genre they will go to swim, and the next is the portion of genre by work growth, and last is highest work growth studio by genre. Okay, let's begin. In here, as you can see, the 3 highest profitable film genre is in the comedy. Let's just click it and go to filter. Okay. In here, this is the top 10 film with most profitability. And with the comedy genre, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 film with the comedy genre that in the part of the top 10 film with most profitability. Also, we can see about the portion of the genre by work growth is the highest one. And if you look at the lead studio with the highest work growth, maybe if the company want to make the film in the comedy, in the genre of comedy, they can get look in the Warner Bros, Universal, or Disney because the 3 studio is the highest work growth in the genre of comedy. So maybe if the company can look in the Warner Bros., they will get chance or opportunity to get more weight growth and a high profit. Okay, so let's just look at the top 10 film. The highest one is Fair Proof. Just click and use the folder. Okay, Fair Proof is the highest one profit, and this film is based on the drama genre. Let's look. The portion of genre is also the bigger, maybe 2 or 3, and the lead studio with the highest rate growth paying the drama is the independent. Maybe the company will interest if the company make the drama will interest in the independent studio. Okay, look. Okay, so now let's see again in the this is the Midnight in Paris. As we know before, previous the Midnight in Paris is having high interesting one because this film is in the high position both in audience score or the Rotten Tomatoes. Let's just see. Let's click it. Oh, so Midnight in Paris having the best genre in the romance, and the portion of genre by Barbara Cross is also high, and the highest Barbara Cross studio by genre in this case is romance is Sony. Maybe if the company want to create the romance, they can look at the Sony studio. Okay, so let's jump to the dashboard tree. Okay, so here we will talk about the relationship between the profit and the growth. So first of all, this is the I create the relationship, I create the highest profit and growth in the Sony studio, the profit film of 2011, and the studio with the higher profit and growth in 2011. So first of all, why I chose the Sony studio? Because from the previous data, we got that the film of the Midnight in Paris is having the interesting one, but in audience score or in Rotten Tomatoes. Also, the genre of the film is high in the profit and the worldwide growth. So in here, let's just click on the Midnight in Paris and use a filter. Okay, in here you can see that Midnight in Paris is having the high profit, and high worldwide growth. Also, in the profit film of 2011, Midnight in Paris also have the high profit and the worldwide growth, and this is the company or the lead studio of the Midnight in Paris is the Sony. They're also in the good place in here. Okay. Now let's talk about the relationship between the profit and the growth. In here, we can know that the trend line is having the positive relationship. It means that profitability and the work rate is influence each other. It means if the film have the work rate growth, so the film get the opportunity to having the lot of profit. But in the trend line, it's also have the outliners, or this is the extreme condition with just one variable having the highest one. In this case, in the fair proof, the highest one is the profitability, but they have the lowest, not lowest, in the more lower, extreme lower in the work rate growth. In this condition, maybe it's because the fair proof production it's more lower than the other film production, and they can get more profitability because the people have interest in the film. But because the production is lower, the profit they get will be increasing a lot than the world rate grows. And this is the profit for the Sony studio. Yeah, you can see this is the positive relationship, positive graph. And the Midnight in Paris is the highest one in the Sony, and the lowest one is Nick and Nora Infinity Playlist. This is the comedy, the genre of comedy. Also, Dear Johan is the second highest. Next. So the next is the profit film of 2011. So as you can see, the highest profit is in the Midnight in Paris, but the highest worldwide growth is from the Twilight Breaking Down. As the investor, so investor will happy or will give money to the film with highest profit or the highest worldwide growth. And a lot of investor will think again to give or avoid to give the invest in the film maybe like The Wedding for Forever, in The Dangerous Method, or in The My Week with Marilyn, because the three film is have the lowest worldwide growth and the lowest profitability. So the investor maybe don't want to invest it more to the three of the film. Also in the studio with the profit and growth in 2011 on in leisure is first of all the having the high profit and the high worldwide growth is the independent. And the second one is in the Sony, and the third one is in the Disney. So its investor maybe will get maybe this studio will get chance or opportunity to get investment from investor because the story about the profit and growth is good, but with for studio like the Western Company or Warner Bros. In 2011, maybe the investor will avoid them because the history say that in the 2011 they don't have really good growth in the profit on the growth. So as the investor, I will choose for film maybe similar with the Mina in Paris with the genre in romance, but I will change to mm, to make it in the independent studio because what because from the independent studio we know that this studio with having the low high profit and the high worldwide growth. Maybe if we can make it in the romance with similar with the film similar with the Midnight in Paris with the our value and the uniqueness, maybe we can have the chance to get highest profit and worldwide growth. So that all from me for the analysis in the Hollywood of Hollywood profitability stories. Thank you.